Welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're going to show you the wiring working on the Trike. And so basically, first I'm just going to show you the Trike and all the wiring and show it all working. And then I'm going to follow up after that with all the details, which you probably don't really care to watch. So go ahead and feel free to just stop watching once once I show it working. But for anybody else, just keep on watching, and don't forget to subscribe and all that other stuff. Like, share, or what I call love, laugh, and learn. So only the learning part is is the rest of this after I show you the first part. So I don't know how many laughs we're going to get out of this one, but probably not much. All right, well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. So you start with a battery switch. This is the battery cutoff. Turn it off, the battery's disconnected, nothing works. Turn it on, the battery is connected. It actually, once the battery's on, these things are getting power. The controllers are getting power, but they're not getting any throttle. You got to turn this on, and to get throttle to work, I guess I could probably do it. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, so throttle is working, and the horn works. And right now we got the left-hand turn. We got the flashers going right now. So without the flashers, just turn them off. The headlight's always on. We got the front amber lights on at a low level, and the rear light should be on. It's just at a low level. Not really. They're on, but it's really hard to tell because of they're on very low. But if we turn the flashers on, now they're flashing the brake lights. So got the flashers going, and then the front turn signals are flashing. So turn those off. Now we right turn, left turn, works, and the all-important brake lights. So you can see if we pull on the brakes work, but the turn signal still flashes, which, you know, all these things have to be put in the code. So there's the brake lights on, off, and that's it. So it all works, and I got all the wires running into this box, and then I had to put 12-volt battery in here to power the horn because it was not working using the DC to DC converter. So then I realized I'm really only missing one thing to make this a moped legal, and that's to have a rear view mirror. They require that, so you don't need two of them, you just need one. And but apparently there's no inspection, so and when it's towing this trailer right here, I'm gonna have to put light mirrors on the trailer because it's wider than the Trike. So we don't really necessarily need them on the Trike itself. Alright, here's where I'm at with the wiring. I was gonna try and put another box right here, and I decided, you know, I'm just gonna stuff it all in here. It's not gonna be easy, but I'm
it just looks so much better. Although, look at these wires, they don't look better. But you can see these are all the wires. There are basically, I have 5 groups, and so here is this is the description of them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I could go through them all, but you would probably click off as soon as I started to do that. So you could just look at it. If you want to know the details, study that. But basically, we've got, you know, turn signals. We've got the buttons coming in for the turn signals and lights, and you know, and then I've got the signals for the rear lights going to the back, and then we've got the throttles going to the back, and then I've got the throttle switches coming in, and you know, and then we've got other stuff. So all of these wires need to be connected mostly to this. This is the processor board that is controlling the lights, and so I've kind of stacked it like this so I can fit it in here. You know, it will fit in there. I don't know how it's going to fit with all these wires. They're just going to be jammed in there. I'm sure I'm going to regret it. But basically, we've got this DC to DC takes 24 volts that comes from the battery and produces 12 volts for the lights. That's the 12 volt output here. And then there's another DC to DC that produces 5 volts. And the 5 volts powers the processor board and the throttles and the brake switch, because they all need 5 volts. And then they put out a signal from the 5 volts. But they need 5 volts to power the chip inside of them. So, yeah. and then I've got this. This is the UNL 2003, which turns the processor signals into ground switches for higher current. And then I just kind of soldered on this big thing here for all the grounds connecting. So the idea is that we're just going to use these, you know, prototype pins to connect. I'm gonna have to solder these ends onto all of these wires, because I need. So we've got the power. So this white wire, as you can see, it's got the 24 volts coming from the battery. It's got the ground from the battery. We've got that 5 volt going out, and then we've got the left and right throttle signal going back. So that's what we got here. We've got the red wire is the 24 volts. It's going in to this thing, and then the blue wire comes out and goes into our DC to DC converter, and then the grounds all connect up, and then the signal wire from the throttle goes to the brown wire. So we come out here at the brown wire, and so we have nothing connected except for the signal wire to the throttle. I'll just have those disconnected. So you got to be careful with these things, because you know there's 5 volts coming out. See, that's what happens if you accidentally. Fortunately, it doesn't cause any damage, but you don't want it to accidentally get 24 volts. It's very frustrating. All right, so the signal wire, the brown wire, is just going to the green wire, the signal wire for the throttle. And so now when I turn the twist throttle, you can see it's working. So, and it shows the voltage, 27 volts. So that's what it should have done 4 hours ago, but it didn't work. So now I replaced the other throttle with this throttle that has a key switch, so you turn the key off and now you got no power coming into this board and no power going to the throttles, so no signal coming out. I mean, this is still powered up. It's got the 24 volts going into it. It's still powered up there, but there's no power going to the throttle. I mean, the throttle wire is going to always be, well, it's probably floating actually, but there's probably an internal pull down, so it's not going to spin the wheels. We have an actual on-off switch right here, so if I turn that off and then turn this on, nothing's going to happen because the battery is essentially disconnected. So the way I'm doing that is it's the interconnect between the two 12 volts. That's where I've got this switch. So without that switch on, the negative on this one and the positive on this one are not connected through the battery. That's pretty standard for EVs. You take the battery and you cut it in half, and then you have a switch that joins the two, because it's much safer that way. It's not that it's dangerous here, but it's just convenient. So yeah, 4 hours later I redid it, and now I'm back to where I was 4 hours ago. So we've got this thing is now connected. This one is connected. This wire coming out, these are the wires coming out from this. Now they're all connected, so I can move on now. Alright, it's time to eat some spaghetti. Well, hopefully we're not going to get some red sauce on everything, and we're just going to hook this thing up. I got all the wires hooked up the way they're supposed to, according to my chart right here. I did a little diagram for the circuit board where all the inputs and the outputs go, and the power and the grounds. So that's pretty much what we got. Here's the 5-volt power, here's the grounds, here's all the input to the switches, and these are all the outputs for the lights that go to ground. So I still need to I gotta hook up, this is for the horn and the headlight. I haven't hooked it up yet, so I'm just gonna, before we get there, we need to test all this. I already tested out the throttles, so both the throttles work and they control, you know, basically these two. Well, the horn turned out to be a major problem because well, the other horn, the one from the Prius, I don't know, it just stopped working. But so I just threw it away. But this one works. However, it did not work using the 12 volts coming from this DC to DC converter. It only puts out like 2 amps and 3 amps at max. And then I got these skinny wires, these skinny little wires. So I thought about what to do, and what I did is I have these small 18650 lithium ion, not lithium ion, but lithium phosphate batteries. So I put 4 of them together to create 12 volts, and then I used the relay. I stuffed it in here, the batteries and the relay. I stuffed into the headlight, and you can see that the power from the battery, the relay is turning on the power from the battery to the horn. So now when I hit the button, there we go. We got horn finally. after how many hours I've been working on this. I got it all set up, and then it would just go. It just didn't work. So yeah. So basically, then I have a diode in there, and the diode allows the 12 volts coming from the DC to DC to recharge these batteries, but not power up everything. So the electricity only goes from the battery. I mean, it only goes to the battery from the 12 volts here, but the output goes to the horn. So you can see that's why it's connected right there. So this is the 12 volts coming from the 12 volts that's connected to the relay, and then the power from the battery doesn't go this way. It only comes from here to here, but the power goes from here to here to turn on the horn. So there we go. It was a pain in the butt. It's like everything usually is. So yeah, this headlight, I got to turn it on. I don't have the software's not turning on this headlight, so I got to go fix that now and test it. Alright, we got it stuffed in there. We got it zip tied onto the thing, and I just need to find the lid. There it is. Just got to find the lid and screw it in. So no shorting.